So when you're completing the square to solve quadratic equations, they always have to be in the form of x squared plus bx plus c equals 0, or x squared plus bx equals c. Right? They always have to be in that form. So if we have a coefficient of x squared that's different than 1, the first thing we have to do is get rid of that. Right? So we need to get c on the right-hand side of the equal sign, and if there's a coefficient of x squared that's different than 1, then we need to get rid of that first. Right? Or, I mean, you can do the order of it is completely up to you, which you move first. Right? So in this problem here for letter A, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by -3. And when it's in this order, that when I divide 0 by -3, I just get 0 anyways, so that helps. So we've got x squared, 12 divided by -3 is -4x, -15 divided by -3 is +5, and that equals 0. So we're going to subtract 5 from both sides then, because we need to get it into the form x squared plus bx equals c. All right, so remember, we're going to, here then, we put our parentheses. Inside the parentheses, we have x, and then half of -4 is -2. So half of -4 goes here in the parentheses, and then I'm going to take that and square it and add it to both sides. So -2 squared is +4, so I'm adding 4 to both sides. So, and one thing to remember is that this number that I'm adding to both sides will always be positive. Okay, it can never be a negative number. It's always going to be positive. Well, in this case, though, what happens? When I go to take the square root of both sides, we get x minus 2 equals the square root of a negative number. Can we take the square root of a negative number? Okay, no, we can't. So in this situation, there are no real solutions. Now, is there a way that I can check that? Is there a way to check that? Graph it. Okay, so let's take the original equation and put it in our y equals and see if it crosses the x-axis. If it does not cross the x-axis, we know that we're correct. There is no real solutions. If it does cross the x-axis, then I must have made a mistake somewhere. Okay? And then when we get done with B, I'm actually going to show you how you can check it with the calculator anyways, even if you do. So -3x squared plus 12x minus 15. And we graph it. And we can see it does not cross the x-axis. So we are correct in our work that we can't take the square root of a negative, so there's no real solutions for this one. Okay? All right. one other one then. Letter B here. 5x squared plus 19x equals 4. So this becomes a little bit more challenging for us. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to divide by the coefficient of x squared. Because we got to get rid of that because it has to be just 1x squared for us to be able to complete the square. So we get x squared plus 19 over 5x, leave a space, and we get 4/5. All right, so we're going to be working with fractions. That's okay. All right, so now when I go to put it in the binomial squared, all right, we're doing half of 19/5. Right? And the easiest way to do it, half of a fraction is just doubling the denominator. Okay? So half of 19 over 5 would be 19 over 10. Right? So when you're going to cut a fraction in half, all you're doing is doubling the denominator. So this is going to be plus 19 over 10. So I'm going to add to both sides. Wow, this is a nice fraction. What's 19 squared? I don't even know that one.
361.
361? Okay. So we're going to add 361 over 100 to both sides. All right, so now you can take your calculator, we'll do this for you. All right, so let's check that out. So 4/5 plus 361 over 100. All right, type it in. I get this decimal, 4.41. Okay, now you can convert that to a fraction. Is what we want, is that as a fraction. So we go math, and the first thing is fraction, hit enter, and we'll convert that to a fraction. So it's 441 over 100. All right, so we're going to use them as fractions, not as decimals. Okay, take the square root of both sides. So x plus 19 over 10 equals plus or minus. What's the square root of 441? 21. Oh, that's nice. So we get 21 over 10. All right. So we subtract 19 over 10 from both sides. We get x equals. All right. So we're going to take 21 and subtract 19 over 10, and take negative 21 and subtract 19 over 10. So 21 minus 19 is 2/10, and negative 21 minus 19 is negative 40 over 10. So this is actually 1/5 and negative 4. So if you have a coefficient of, so two things, coefficient of x squared other than 1, we need to divide by that. And then just to make sure when you get, and then use fractions, don't use decimals. All right. So if I wanted to check this, I would put in my calculator Well, actually, if you're at home, you can use it with decimals. You can check it with decimals. But with your calculator, I would do 5x squared plus 19x minus 4, right, is what I would actually put in my calculator then. All right, put in my y equals, all right, because it's got to all be on the same side. Right? So graph it, 5x squared plus 19x minus 4, and then I can check these numbers to see if they work with my calculator to verify it. All right?